let me just message na mag-post lang ako sa IG. Nakakaloka. Let's just wait a minute more.
Ano? Ang paakit na natin sila.
Oo. Ayan, there's one isa na. Ayan. Okay. So today we are going to talk about the Binibining Pilipinas season. Medyo outdoorsy kami today.
We're here at the rainy Araneta Center in
I'm not sure if you can see
The
it.
big dome is
but
behind us. Yeah.
That is Araneta Center, and behind us is Novotel Manila. There. So, ayun.
Binabagyo tayo ng mga binibini at bumabagyo rin
Correct.
dito.
Earlier lang I posted on my IG stories na
Yes.
the posters of the Binibining Pilipinas
Yes.
candidates are up. So around 5 this this afternoon, the posters were being installed. I think nasa 27, 28 na kanina yung candidate number na
I think by tomorrow it will be complete.
yes,
So,
or by
tonight.
tonight, definitely by tonight. Complete na yan. So, anyway, hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Mark Sobrajani.
Hello, I'm back.
Is my pageant friend since 2016.
2016.
During CNN Philippines
Miss
Miss Universe 2016 na coverage. Ayan.
Nakita na siguro din ako when we did the Miss Universe pre-pageant analysis and a couple of pageant insights on every now and then.
Ayun. Let's just wait a little bit more. Maghintay lang tayo ng mga taong to join the live before we start with the actual meat and bones of the discussion.
Yes.
Right? Kasi today, ang pag-uusapan namin ni Mark is the girls that we are expecting to deliver for the press presentation.
Which is actually a deal breaker if you're a fan of Binibining Pilipinas. You've seen that a couple of times in the previous years that whoever shines in the press presentation usually gets the crown. This is also the time when we wait for the magical clap of Madam Stella. I do not know if we're gonna see it this time, but in tradition, usually the girls who get those magical claps are the ones who bear the crown the night, and probably July 31st.
Yeah. Wait lang. Let me just post this on Instagram.
Grabe yung hangin. By the way, for people na nanonood, sana safe kayo.
Oo, kasi medyo malakas ang ulan. Nakakamdaman ko yung bugso ng
You can
ng
feel it
tubig.
here. Totoo.
Ay, yeah. Okay. Kaya nga.
Kaya hindi ko rin nalabas ang laptop ko kasi it's dangerous.
So, anyway. So, ano na ba ang nangyayari ngayon? What we can divulge as of now is that yung pula ng mga fans na magpe-perform for the Binibining Pilipinas Finals, I think it's safe to assume na SB19, the kings of P-pop, Pinoy pop
Yes.
music, are going to perform. And I've heard that possibly
No, because lang ng ABS-CBN is their official partner, so baka lang.
Baka lang.
We see that likes of Bini and BGY are probably going to appear.
yes,
We're hopeful.
But definitely it's going to be, mamamaha kayo sa musical numbers because that's what
Oo.
I've been hearing from insiders.
And we also think that it's gonna be a different musical theme.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna see a P-pop kind of celebration on a pageant stage, the lighting, the creative juices that you see on that night, the staging would be different. This is not the typical glossy pageant stage.
Yeah. And imagine na na it would look like a concert. Hindi siya magmumukhang traditional lang na pageant. So the entertainment factor is definitely going up. And may tanong na tayo. What's your thoughts between the repeaters and fresh candidates on Angat? Pag-uusapan natin yan.
Pag-uusapan natin yan.
Pasakalya muna tayo because there's a lot to unpack. I've heard insider, I cannot mention the name, but the person is connected with BPCI, mentioned us na magbabalik ang old Binibining Pilipinas na theme song.
But
So,
sa uploaded talent video nila, the background music is that. I kinda missed it.
kasi ang kwento niyan was that apparently one of the matriarchs, one of the alam niyo naman kung sino yung matriarch.
Oo, ano.
Like the old song better. I think a lot of the comments from fans is that masyadong beerity yung bago. And I think the pulse is ang mga fans gusto yung luma. And it so happened that the matriarch is loves the old song better than the new one.
They
Yun
can
ang ko.
remix that, no? I mean, that is the Binibining Pilipinas theme has gone through a lot of revisions. So
Yes.
the latest is yung mataas na version ni
Yes.
Elaine Duran.
Yeah.
The Binibining. Pero I think in the years like 2008, 2007, those were
They-
good
yeah,
versions.
yeah.
Na classic, but they did not depart too much on the original.
Although hindi ako pwede magsalita pa
Yes, so let's skip it.
I'll just skip the suspense muna kasi expect that there will be a new treatment to the Binibining Pilipinas song. May konting rap na mangyayari. It's going to be something na
Exciting.
they're going to make it modern for the more younger and more modern na pageant fan. So yun.
Maybe because hence we see, because of the younger performance we see and expect on the 31st. There's another question daw, i-remix na lang daw ang lumang yes. And if you
Yes.
watch the Binibini naman, ever since they remix it, no, they just stopped using the Binibini theme in 2011, if I'm mistaken.
I'm not sure if
Tapos parang kinanta lang ulit yung Martin Rivera on Binibining Pilipinas Gold.
Yeah,
13. Then stop ulit. And I haven't heard a lot about that theme until recently, until last week.
ayan, maingay na kasi it's traffic time.
Oo, traffic. Pero nare-review pa naman kami, no? Sabihin na pag hindi, lalakasan ko na para sa
Yes. Lalapit namin ng camera for everyone. So, ano pa yung mga pwede nating isiwalat na updates? Okay, so for the Binibining Pilipinas na press presentation, what I've been told is that it's going to be a two-part na presentation. The half, tama ba? Half of the initial half of the entire segment is going to be inside Novotel, inside the forum. And then there will be a live at the pool area of
For the swimsuit.
yes, for the swimsuit ng mga
It's traditional.
so medyo half. So it will look like yung old na Binibining Pilipinas press presentation sa loob ng ballroom, but it will take some cues on last year's press presentation where
That was
the
good, no?
candidates were parading on the pool area. So, and yun, live yun.
And the swimsuits ba? Are they gonna be made by Mama Doms or
The swimsuits. Okay, so
Exciting.
it's no longer Mama Doms Ramos who's going to do the swimsuits. Unfortunately, his contract ended with Binibining Pilipinas, and this year there will be a new person in charge of the swimsuits. And if you've seen my IG stories earlier, medyo may idea na kayo yung kung gaano kagago yung swimsuits this year. And for the press presentation, I've heard is that the color of the swimsuit is going to be related to the sea and to the sky. So, bahala na kayo doon. The swimsuits is going to be done by Justine Aliman. Siya yung isa sa mga
Stylist.
go-to stylist ni Catriona,
Yeah.
Miss Universe 2018. And ano pa ba ang pwede kong i-reveal na hindi
hindi ka mapapahama.
Hindi tayo mapapahama. Oo. Oh my God.
You have a lot of things to
I
say.
cannot...
Pwede mo natin baguhin yung topic where we have a lot of expectations and observations.
Yes.
Yes, that we can share. Kasi
Okay.
medyo say,
Tanongin muna kita, ano napapansin mo? Bakit parang quiet nitong June?
it's so quiet. No, actually, the pageant season is very quiet. Even if we start and go back to the past major pageants that has gone through in this year, we're now at the half of the year, hindi ko nararamdaman ang pageant fever. Parang the candidates who just pop in, napanood na natin yung finals night and they're gone, and then another one and it's out. Wala ako masyadong nararamdaman ng pasabog. I think because in the previous years, what we see is that a lot of girls would flood their content, no? With
Yes.
with photo shoots, with videos, with conversations, with guestings and interviews that actually beef up their candidacy towards the crown. But this year, it's more subtle, subdued, calmer pageant season.
And kudos to the pro media girls of Binibining Pilipinas. Yana Aduana, Rowan Camondo,
Chelsea.
Chelsea Fernandez, Elda Aznar, Fatima Kate Bisan, and Natasha Jung. Because sila yung nakikitang mong pursigido na makipagkitang gilas. With pro media backing these girls up, I'm sure they're enjoying yung exposure.
Ay, speaking of the exposure, one observation I found this year that's different from the rest of the years, excuse me, is that hindi sariling camp, hindi kanya-kanyang girls yung naglalabas. Now we see an organizational shift. It's more of organizational management pagdating sa mga girls. Like you've said, Pro Media is doing all of these campaigns, this publicity, communication for their girls. Other camps are doing the same, na in holistic, and more so, the organization itself. Kasi Binibining Pilipinas beefing up their content this year. A lot of events na talagang so out there that you can easily access and see the girls. So parang, it's naninibago ako. Parang it's a good thing for the girls, I suppose, because
Yeah.
they spend less on the resources, they reserve much of their time, focus their energy when it matters most, which is the competition. Hindi na sila masyado namang problema na hindi ako nakikita, hindi ako nakikilala. So whenever they get a chance and opportunity, parang mas less excuse na hindi ka pasabog when you see it.
Ang take ko naman is that this year, maybe I'm just speculating on my part, but I think that a lot of the girls for Binibinia, they are reserving their energies for the July na month. I think that because sunod-sunod yung mga activities nila ng June, they are relying on pageant media to beef up their social media presence, their visibility. But if napansin po ninyo, konti lang yung naglalabas ng mga glam shots, ng mga sarili nilang mga pasabog. Right? And this is especially true among all the Binibining Pilipinas girls. In fact, Tita Lavinia, shout out kay Tita Lavinia, hello. Nabanggit niya sa isa sa mga press meet and greet of the Pro Media girls. I'm sure, I think it's during Rowan na parang yung mga glam lang ng mga girls, yung naglalabas ng mga kanyang mga glam shots ng mga girls, sa mga publicity materials ng mga girls. And ang take ko naman doon is probably they are reserving their energies for the finals, for the entire July na activity. And yung nakausap ko na Binibining Pilipinas candidate earlier, na nabanggit niya na parang kokonti yung mga photographers who are willing and open for photo shoots this season. I'm not sure kung ano ang dahilan. I'm not sure if it's maybe because booked sila because it's pageant season, may kanya-kanyang mga pinagkakakitaan.
Pwedeng mag-intriga. I mean, you know, in the past, di ba, there's a lot of issues that arose. A lot of places been sponsored dresses, photo shoots, and there's a failure to acknowledge. No?
Oh.
Parang feeling ko baka hindi, wag naman sana na baka nagkaka-donor fatigue yung mga creatives natin who supports our girls especially. Pero nakikita naman natin kasi when they go to international, sunod-sunod. Like the most recent competition of Fuchsia Ravenna in this international team, I didn't see much of Fuchsia doing so much pasabog and glams, but towards the entire stay in Thailand, we see sunod-sunod.
So let's hope that itong July, it will be
My
sunod-sunod.
guess is after the key events, which is the press presentation, that would probably be the start of the pasabog.
Yes. And during the several mga press meet and greet that I attended, karaniwan sa mga nababanggit ko dun sa mga girls is that everything changes by the press presentation. I think that's the part of the competition where everything starts to be very aggressive or be competitive.
Like he said, inatay natin na mahiwagang palakpak.
Yes.
Ni Madam. And hopefully she's gonna be there. We missed that.
She okay. She's here in the Philippines.
Yes, she is.
That I can vouch
That
for.
we're
Kasi
sure.
may pinakita sa akin na photo, resibo na nandito siya sa Pilipinas. She was eating actually down in the Pizza Hut dito sa may New Frontier Theater.
Where we are right now, by
Where we
the
are
way.
right now, by the way. And she was with Sir Jorge Araneta. So, she's here, she's
Baka out of
monitoring.
safety lang din. She doesn't go
Yes.
out that often because of safety.
Safety na rin. And aside from that, I think she's more in tune with what's happening on social media. She's consuming a lot
Now.
of
So this is a note to the girls. If that
Exactly.
indeed is true, ha, you
Kasi-
have to be out there.
this time around, I was able to chat with someone from the organization, and today lang ako nagkaroon ng insight about SMA, being very active on social media, na tinitingnan niya hindi lang yung mga girls probably, but even yung mga, especially sa mga pageant media.
Totoo.
Um,
She's out. I mean, traditionally, she's always been observant. She's
Yeah.
always maintained control over. Siyempre, kailangan marespeto ang mga girls natin.
Yes.
Hindi sila masubject sa anything untoward. So, that has been a tradition. Although, you don't see her often visibly, physically sa mga events, but on her own way, she knows how to manage all of these things.
Okay, so now let's start with the tough question. Earlier, isa sa inyo nagtanong sa amin about ano yung pakiramdam namin doon sa mga freshies versus the veterans. Ikaw muna.
You know what, veterans are traditionally our crown giver. I'm nothing against freshies because some freshies has given us that too, diba? Pero I think walang masama if you gain your experience, because being a beauty queen nowadays is not just a status symbol. It is a job. No? It's a responsibility you have to. And for you to be able to fulfill that duty properly, you need to allow yourself to gain enough experience and knowledge about the platforms that you're representing, the pageant organization, what the works are all about. And you only do that if you repeatedly go through the process and expose yourself, no? Para maintindihan mo what's in store for you. So, I'm pretty sure yung iba nakaka-ulit na lang sila, we need new faces. But you know what? Yung mga girls na paulit-ulit are also commendable dahil hindi biro magpaulit-ulit. You get again a whole set of designers, a whole set of photographers to support you. Makeup artists, stylists, you go here. Taon ang tinitigil sa buhay nila whenever they compete, diba?
Yeah.
I remember at the time Katrina, I had a conversation with Ton Lau, the stylist, and ngayon pwede ko lang i-divulge, no? Kat cannot take shampoo sponsorship throughout the year because she's dedicated to binibining.
Green seal. Kasi
Diretso lang. So, kailangan ang focus nila ng pageant itself. They cannot take any other jobs because of contractual obligations. And that's the difficult thing about the repeaters, as we call them. No? So, mahirap yun. For the newbies naman, if you get it first time, congratulations. Kasi talagang, ibig sabihin, exceptionals. I think it's a mixture of both hard work and lady luck.
Ang timpla ko naman here is that the newbies, kumaka na sila ngayon. Ngayong tahimik yung mga veterans. And I think that's a good thing na they are, aggressive. Kasi
Sila.
kung hindi sila maging aggressive ngayon at ilalabas lang nila yung mga alas nila towards the finals, after the press presentation, mahihirapan sila to get up, to get yung support,
The momentum.
to get the momentum, to get visibility online. Simply because ang mga pageant veterans, they are banking on the years of experience that they have. Kumbaga, they were able to build their following. They were able to build, yung mga taong sumusuporta sa kanila. While the newbies, syempre, bagong pangalan, they're just being introduced.
Mas mainit sila.
Mas kinakailangan nilang magtrabaho in terms of getting support. So, sa ngayon, the ball is on the newbies. Pero lahat yan magbabago come press presentation because everything changes. Kasi that is the time where the girls will start looking at each other as competitors dahil makita na nila kung ano yung kaya nilang i-deliver. Ano yung kaya nilang ibigay sa competition. And with 4 crowns
At stake.
uh,
Competition is tougher.
the competition is tougher as compared to in the previous
7
years na there are
crowns.
7 crowns, right? And aside from that, yung mga chismis na lumalabas that there's only going to be 3 crowns this year kasi walang kukoronahin na Miss International Philippines, that's wrong. It's going to be 4 crowns this year kasi with Miss International announcing a new a new requirement. I think several months ago na kinakailangan meron silang body of work on a certain advocacy that is related with the United Nations. You need time if you are going to represent, to be a representative of the Philippines or other countries. You need time to build that up.
And I think Hannah Arnold's still competing, right?
Yes, Hannah
She's
Arnold
competing.
is still competing.
Kasi
So siya pa
there
rin ang
are
representative.
questions na baka daw the winner this year we may do a putri. No, we're not gonna do a putri in the
No, no.
Hannah is competing.
Hannah is competing. Hannah also mentioned that on social media. Ilang beses na po siya nag-comment sa mga nagsasabi ng ganyan sa social media na baka hindi na siya matuloy mag-compete. No, she's
Eligible po siya.
Eligible siya. She's still under 27 years old or 28 years
She's
old.
only 26, 25. Parang
She's
ganun.
26.
26.
Ano? Oh, I think 25.
25 kasi 24 when she won.
But she won, yeah. So, hindi siya magiging issue yung age kasi pasok na pasok si Hannah doon.
At saka tuloy ang training ni Hannah. We see her glow up, diba? Diba ang dating? I'm proud of her. She's my kababayan from Masbate. So, yeah.
And I saw her during the Mr. International Philippines na finals in Okada, Manila, and she was glowing. I also saw Maureen Montaigne na hanggang ngayon maintain niya yung ganda niya and yung parang pwede mo siyang sumabak ulit. Ganon. Sounding are very... Okay, so let's look at
Isasay
the
namin
mga
yung questions nyo.
questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
And natutuwa kami. Keep them coming.
Yes.
We're willing to answer.
Sabi ni Haji Ev, i-remix na lang yung lumang song para updated naman sonically for the times. I agree.
Na-answer na natin.
Na-answer na natin yan. It's going to be a modernized
There will be.
version.
There will be.
There will be. Yeah, I agree. The classic girl theme has staying power, good lyrics, but may need some very minor updates lyric-wise. Not fan of the Birit version last
Pero totoo
year.
naman she's the loving symbol of the people, rich in heritage and love.
And lahat ng mga tao kabisado yung lyrics ng
Oo.
kanta.
If you do not know that, you're not a true blue pageant fan, Filipino.
Okay. Clean Game is asking, MGI lilipat nga ba? We cannot say for sure kung ano ang game plan ni
Noah.
Noah.
He's here, by the way.
Yes, he's here, but
Shopping.
we're thinking that he is shopping around.
He is shopping.
Ang masasabi ko lang is, binibini yung attitude nila on franchise na lilipat, hindi lilipat, or whatever. They are allowing them the freedom na lumipat kasi it's still a business decision on the sports part.
Contractual obligation. And Binibini is known to honor every single contract that they have.
Exactly. Kaya, on the Binibining Pilipinas side, they are very professional that they will not talk about it, whether aalis sila o hindi, and let the international org silang mamblema niyan. The problem here is that kapag lumabas ka na ng Binibining Pilipinas, will the new organization guarantee the level of branding that Binibini can provide?
The premium.
The heritage that Binibini can provide. Sa ngayon kasi, I have heard that yung isa sa mga former na mga franchise holders na umalis from Binibini is now getting chummy again with the organization.
Binibining Pilipinas maha daw yun.
Ay, why not? Diba? Buhayin natin ang
Buhayan
Binibining
natin,
Pilipinas
1980s.
So, hindi lang 80s, 70s pa ang mga.
Oo, but I think the last
Seven.
crowd for that is 80s, no? 85.
93.
Oh, 93.
93.
Oo, 93. During time of Rupa, may mahaba.
Oh, I think, hindi nga, 92 lang. I'm not sure, parang matagal na kasi niya.
Way too much. Oh, matagal na siya. Basta alam ko 90s was the
I think
last
si Maria
title.
Pilipayo yung last na Pilipinas.
And elevate siya to world.
Yes.
Noon.
So anyway, as I was saying, it's up to the international pageant organizations whether or not they want to keep the relationship with Binibini. Ang may gagaranti lang kasi ng Binibini is that, as yung nakita nyo naman, nabawasan sila ng world, ng universe, ng supranational, nandun pa din yung branding, nandun pa din yung prestige, nandun pa din yung mataas na pagkilala sa Binibini as the most prestigious national
Binibini
pageant.
started with 2 crowns. I mean, what's
Exactly.
there to... Diba? What's there to...
Actually, it started with just one crown. Nalipat lang sa kanila yung international, I think around 1968. So, that says something. Plus the fact that, ito na lang, isipin nyo na lang to. If an international pageant wants to host a pageant here in the Philippines, the Aranetas have a coliseum, have a whole hotel, meron silang mga shopping centers, meron silang mga activity centers around Araneta City that the girls can enjoy.
I think it's international. It's high time for them to bring it here.
I think ang kinakailangan lang sa international is to not be too traditionalist. If it was me, I would want the Intercon happening here again kasi na-elevate yung production values nila
Actually, to
kapag
me, the
dito.
best stage of Intercon ever is the one held here.
Yes, the one in Okada.
In Canada. And Karen Dahlman won that.
Exactly.
What gives?
Kasi iba yung iba ang level of gloss na the Philippines can provide for an international.
Usually, the Southeast Asian countries do really good productions.
They do good shows.
Ang ganda. I mean,
Walang mezzanine na prelims.
Wala. Oh, I mean, look at Thailand. I mean, they've done it so well. Even the recent Miss Vietnam was
Exactly.
really polished. I mean, and by the way, Mok Chow is a good representative this year. Pero balik tayo sa ibang pageant ko.
What is he doing during rehearsals?
Like you said, he's shopping around,
Yes.
visiting his business interest. He does that.
Yeah. He does that.
He does that. And, you've heard a lot of rumors that he's taking out his grant from Binibining. It's yet to be finalized. And you've seen him with a lot of other pageant organization heads. We do not know yet what's the result of that, but definitely he's shopping. He's shopping.
May mga nag-chichika kasi na gusto daw niya na ang pageant niya yung top crown sa Binibining Pilipinas. But I think that would be a disservice to Miss International that they already have a decades-long na relationship.
And Miss International has a legacy.
Plus, the first Miss International, siya yung national director natin. So, alam mo yun, parang sampal naman sa Miss International org na gawin mo silang secondary na title simply because yung isa mas maingay on social media. I think we have to take into consideration the fact that there is a long-standing business relationship and meron nang na-establish na good rapport yung dalawang colleagues with each other.
I mean, they're tied. You cannot separate them.
Plus the fact that 5 out of the 6 Miss International na winners ng Pilipinas is galing Binibining Pilipinas.
It can't beat that.
Plus,
That's history.
here's the thing. Lara Kigaman is now part of the Binibining Pilipinas Executive Committee. So, that is in itself an answer to any question about whether or not MI is going to be the top round or not in
After
Philippines.
Universe, I think it will always be MI. I mean, nangyari lang Universe because like you said, it was in 64, Mira Pandilio was the first title for them. And it was Binibining Pilipinas Universe. So, given na yung sitwasyon, talagang international will always be top long.
Okay, Dorothy Jones says, Binibini girls are sounding very much the same. Are they reading from the same training module? Conversation skills instead of suffer setback. Light conversations don't need Q&A skills. The thing kasi is that you are only looking at a number of candidates. Hindi nyo pa nakikita yung mga ibang candidates ng Binibining Pilipinas who are actually very eloquent. You have Justine Punsalang, who is a journalist. In Network 5.
Sinurprise tayong lahat during the talent.
Pero she is really very passionate about information, disinformation na issue. The whole sheet, the fake news na issue. Another girl who is very, very eloquent kapag pinausap mo is Elda Aznar, who is very saccharine, very sweet magsalita. Another girl na kailangan natin bantayan is Fatima Kate Bisan. Hindi nyo pa nakikita siyang magsalita. I am going to upload a video interview with her later on. She has a very smooth na communication skills. There are other girls na hindi sila popular. Pero makuda.
If you go away from the front runners, you'll be surprised that we have a really good set of girls. And you know what? Besides that,
Stacey Gabriel is another girl natin na kailangan natin.
Ang daming potential winners sa batch ng Binibini. Siguro lang, I think, what we also have to consider is that, like we said, the top plum is Miss International. You have to look at the pageant format. They're doing speech rather than Q&A.
Yes.
So it's more substantiated, more emotional, more personal, and should be
more authentic.
Mas authentic ang datingan.
And genuine dapat yun. The way that
hindi siya nadadala sa spontaneity, spur of the moment kind of conversation that we saw in the previous years ng Binibini because, the pageant is gearing towards another system na ganun ang requirement.
Yes.
So, I think, kung nakita niyo medyo repetitive, it's because maybe they're looking at a format na ganun ang.
And we have to also credit the media because kapag nagtatanong kami, we are going to ask them with the same set of questions.
Yeah.
In meet and greets, in interviews. That's why probably, you think na hanggang ganun na lang yung kakayanan nila when it comes to speaking ability. Pero hintayin nyo yung Binibining Pilipinas primer because that is where everything changes.
Yes. Actually, dapat i-revisit natin to after.
Yan yung event ng Binibini that bumabasag ng lahat ng listahan because
alam niya
lahat ng mga hindi nagte-perform sa Q&A na primer hirap na makahabol pagdating sa finals.
Speaking of pagbasag ng listahan, other than the primer, press presentation and sponsor visits, attitude.
Exactly. Speaking of attitude, today, I've seen firsthand a couple of Binibinis na medyo hindi kagandahan yung pinakitang behavior during the event. Okay, hindi ko pa pangalanan kung sino, pero I would just want to remind the girls na the press, if you treat them badly, it will backfire on you. So, please lang, attitudean yung mga press because hindi magiging maganda sa inyo because the organization talks to us. And we give feedback to them kung sino yung mga potential na may issue, may potential na might not be the kind of girl that would best represent the Binibining Pilipinas
History
brand.
taught that time and again.
Yes.
And especially this pageant, Binibining Pilipinas, is giving high premium on attitude.
Yes.
May mga nakita na tayo in the past that are very good performers, no, very amazing.
Tapos laglag sa semis.
Clap first sila on finals night. And you ask yourselves why. And the times have changed. Even major international pageants also require good character when you compete. So, people talk maliit lang ang mundo kung makalat siya. So, nakakalungkot naman kung
Mas
yun lang ang
lalo-
dahilan. No?
Mas lalo sa pageant media kasi mas maliit ang mundo ng
Community.
pageant ng media. And I would like to say that we are very close-knit na group that we share these horror stories. Kahit na maliit na chismis, umiikot sa community na to. And a lot of these, these chismis, kinocontain na lang ng community.
Pero they stay. I mean, they become legacy too.
At saka, kahit yung mga things na kaya namin i-contain, kino-contain namin, pero yung mga things na kinakailangan i-heads up namin sa organization, nakakarating sa kanila. So, ano lang, konting ingat lang sa behavior. Tandaan nyo, we are not your slaves. Hindi kami yung utos-utusan nyo lang para
They can
magkumuha
also
ng
be your
picture.
very good friends.
Exactly.
If you play your cards right,
Exactly.
pageant medias can be your best friend.
And earlier today, may isang akong friend na said na hindi ko nakukunan yung girl na yan because ganito na, ano yun, pinakitaan siya ng attitude. And for someone na senior na pageant, na member ng pageant media, someone na ganun yung seniority, malaking bagay.
And they need it now more than ever. Mahirap ang publicity. So every publicity we get, hopefully good, laban na.
Yes. Haji F said, Binibining pa yung last na makainis.
Tama.
And then there's a question here, that is there a new title at stake? No, apat lang yung...
Dapat lang for this year. Hopefully
Yes.
next year, malay natin.
Tiffany po niya, 1995 daw yung last. Okay. Yun na nga, hindi na bumalik kasi hindi na nag-continue yung international pageant.
Pageant yung
I heard an alpha pageant or two is interested in getting back together with the girl with the lovely eyes, Bini. Okay. Paano ko pa sasabihin to? If gusto nilang bumalik, kinakailangan nilang awitan yung org. Kasi there is this, feeling ng org na pag umalis na kayo, baka mahirapan na kayong bumalik. Kasi you've broken the trust of the national org.
We're talking about franchise.
We're talking about franchise, yes.
Talaga ba? I mean,
So, that is why naiintindihan ko yung mga umaaligid na rumors na hanggang ngayon nagpaparamdam ang isang national
Yung mga
or
letters.
ay isang international or
mga
letters.
congratulations pa, thank you. Akala ko naman out of goodwill because you've been, like you can be friends with your exes as they say. But do you give them second chances is another question.
That's another question. Kasi
Talaga ba? Feeling ko naman, many people are hoping.
kasi kung lumayas ka, ako ang basa ko diyan mas kung lumayas ka, baka mahirapan kang bumalik if you left simply because you're just angling for better financials. Alam mo yun, yung parang so hindi naging factor sa iyo yung matagal na pinagsamahan because we're talking about
Pero,
owners here na Hispanic yung kinagisnan na upbringing and iba yung relationship na
if
gano'n.
anything, nag-glow up si X.
Exactly.
Nag-glow up ang X.
Nag-glow up si X.
things has
Mabango si
changed.
X. Gumanda si
Nagkaroon
X.
ng reassessment si X sa sarili niya. So, nakita niya yung kailangan niyang gawin. May improvement siya. And a lot of us are happy, even if hindi na sila together sa couple.
Yeah.
That we also love every year. Pero, yun. Gumanda si X eh. So, ako, I'm thankful about that. Because the X bears the legacy of this country. And more than anything, it's still, to me, it's still the most prestigious only because it's a linear passing of time.
And if talagang seryoso sila, any international org na mali sa X, kay X, pakita nyo na seryoso kayo na gusto nyong bumalik. Right? I think ganun lang naman yan eh.
Meron na mga binalikan itong lover na ito ng mga former exes niya from other places. Kasi feeling ko parang meron. Bumalik ba siya kay Femina?
Or ibang
Hindi,
ibang org.
Ibang org eh.
Ibang org ang
Ibang binalikan niya.
It's the same company.
But ginawa siya ng sarili.
Yes. Ayun.
Sa bagay, hindi naman niya iniwanan si Una noche tan linda. Como esta, di ba? Hindi niya iniwanan yun. Iniwanan niya pala si Raimundo.
Let's see. I think may mga nangyayari behind the scenes na ang hirap sabihin kung totoo kasi at this time it's just speculations. But if they are serious na gusto nilang bumalik, kinakailangan sila ang magpakita ng yung umalis, yung kinakailangan magpakita ng initiative na gusto nila kasi as you've seen itong Araneta, they are developing they're developing fast. They are developing, if I'm not mistaken the soft opening of Edie's Hotel is going to be somewhere towards the end of the year or early part of next year. And then I've heard that there are other developments that they are going to expand.
Pwede na sila mag-gusto ulit.
And that is isa sa mga gusto kong i-discuss today. I've heard that the long-term plan of the Araneta group of companies is that they will develop first. So, hang on lang, we'll try.
Troubleshooting.
Yes. Kasi dalawang nakadata na and
Tatlong
then
internet po gamit namin today to
Correct.
give you this live.
So as I was saying earlier, the plan, the rumored plan during this was something that they were planning 2019 when they still had the franchise. The rumor was that Araneta City is going to redevelop the entire area, the entire Araneta City, and then they will be bidding to host Miss Universe in the future.
Wow.
That is why there's a lot of developments. There's hotels, there's activity areas that's being developed around Araneta City para doon pagkaroon ng mga activities and events.
Ibalik ang Sing-Sing. Mali mo doon ulit mag-propose.
Malay mo kung dahil dyan, bumalik. So, yun yung mga rumors that has been floating around. The veracity of these rumors, we're not sure.
Sabi niya, one or two. So, there's another one?
I don't know.
I don't know,
But
parang
I know
masaya
that
naman yata
there's an X, another X.
Alam ko, isang ex masaya naman yata sa kinalala niya.
Hindi masaya sa kinalalag
Masaya.
yan. Yun. And that X, bukod sa unang X, yung pangalawang X, is still shopping around for an organization to hold yung dalawa nilang franchise na competition. Yun. So,
Boy and a girl.
twins. Ayun, twins. Now let's... What are the thoughts on Perlene getting a crown? I was initially rooting for her because I was touched by her life story, pero na-turn off ako mga TikTok niya. I think it's about time that we start
This
opening
about the
the,
girls.
the conversation regarding the girls.
The girls.
Ito na yon. So, let's start
You
with
have,
Curly.
okay, we'll talk about 10 girls each. Pero ako, Curly is in my top 10. You know why? Hindi kasi tayo sanay sa binibini of getting unpolished, raw, and real personalities being there. Pag think about it, hindi niya na tinago. Although feeling ko naman there's an advice from her camp na sa mga 5 seconds. Stabilize ka.
Stabilize. So,
Pag hindi siya disconnect in seconds, we're good.
I think,
I think we're good.
Ayun.
So yun, back on her lean, yun nga, alam niya kung anong gusto niya pageant. Alam niya na bagay siya doon, at the character that she's doing, believes she's in that place. I think, actually, you know what feeling ko naman, he's also riding on the tide of popularity. You know that he's done that before. He'll do it always. And her lean is also trying to do the same. So for me, they're match made in heaven. It's an interesting binibini if she gets a crowd. Because I'm not really used to that kind of situation. But I'm hoping for the best for her. Kasi tinatrabaho naman niya, nag-gusto makeup. Sexy naman siya. Ganda ng makeup niya. Hindi nga lang tayo na sa pop skills. Ganon, but maybe. Or maybe kasi,
I am on the fence with Curly because here's the thing. When it comes to being authentic, being genuine, nandun tayo eh. She is what you see. She is in
Is what you
social
get. Oo,
in social media. My reservation with her for a crown is that there is a certain kind of finesse that is associated with the brand. Alam naman natin yon na ang binibini, there is always, a level of, finesse
totoo.
na kinakailangan i-process if you want to be proud. Kinakailangan mong i-embody that you can do both the real kikay na authentic, na genuine na personality, but when it comes to the part where you need to be serious, you need to deliver when it comes to your communication skills, when you need to be, be a spokesperson for the organization, yun yung area na kinakailangan niyang i-polish, na kinakailangan niyang pagtrabahuan. Because, hindi lang naman magtatapos ang responsibilities niya sa Binibining Pilipinas once she's done competing at Miss Grand International or Miss Intercontinental or Miss Globe or Miss International, whatever pageant she's set to. Kinakailangan after those competition, ano yung gagawin niya to retain yung prestige ng title na meron siya.
Kasi remember, once a binibining, always a binibining. You carry
So,
that.
you need to be able to fulfill yung duties and responsibilities na required of the national organization. Whether you win internationally or you don't, kinakailangan you carry on, yung expectations ng organizations sa'yo when it comes to delivering your work, kumbaga. And I don't think it will bode well with Curly if ever manalo siya because baka matigil yung showbiz career niya. Yun yung worry ko kasi for me
Nababuhin niya ba yun? Would you
between
sacrifice?
yun na nga kung between her budding na showbiz career versus yung duties and responsibilities ng Binibining Pilipinas na title, ano yung mas matibag sa kanya?
Alam mo, that's...
Yun yung
Pero it kinda reminds me of a binibini back in the day.
Yeah.
Who had a similar trajectory.
I think we're thinking of the same girl, Cindy Corleto.
Then, nanalo na.
Nanalo na that I don't know. But,
Naaminan pa kayo about Miss Maria sa Dolphins back in the day. Diba? She had that modeling career at the same time she held the title niya. And it doesn't really fit. And talking about her, if she wins, granting she wins leading brand, like a lot of fans really call. Yes, she could be Miss Grand International, but is she a binibini?
and sa akin naman,
It's a 50-50 case for her.
yes, I am sure na as a candidate, mag-perform lang siya sa sa prelims, yung mga major na mga pre-pageant activities,
She'll get it.
swak, pasok siya sa semis. How far can she go into the competition?
It's up to her.
It's up to her. Kasi hindi natin hindi natin ma-predict at this point of time because we're not yet sure who are the judges. Sino ang magiging judges this year.
Pero I mean, she's
Yun.
getting noticed. I think whether she wins or she don't, it's a win situation for her.
I
Ano
think
yun?
so. I think so.
Makakakuha pa rin naman siya ng something out of this experience.
And it will be a good magandang exposure sa kanya itong Binibining.
Pero if she wins talaga that specific title, I'm really interested how she's gonna handle that.
I heard that no one likes her.
Oo,
So,
no one likes her.
who knows, di ba?
Sir Hines, tanungin natin.
Tignan natin kasi again, as I said, this is a batch where very competitive yung mga girls. So, if competitive yung mga girls, then ibig sabihin yan, there is a possibility na maraming pwedeng manalo na hindi
Pero
natin
sayang
nakikita.
naman if we're gonna send another, may mga Diyosa. I know some of you are asking about his favorites. We'll get back to that later. Pero sayang, kung mapunta sila doon tapos hindi rin sila mabigyan ng chance, and we've been sending goddess after goddess after goddess. In Thailand, in Myanmar. Pero no avail.
There was a big question about I think it was Roan. Let me just backtrack him.
Ayan, Roberta.
There. I just watched yung Roberta Tamundong na interview sa comedian. In fair ang mga tanong mo ha. Kaso lang di ko tinanggalan ang panonood sa kanya. Di ko alam kung ako lang ba. Pero just want to know. Okay, with Roberta kasi, ngayon, I've seen her several times already, whether it's her meet and greet, it's a Binibining Pilipinas activity. Ang ganda ng katawan niya ngayon. Very svelte, may
Maganda.
tone.
At saka maganda talaga siya.
Maganda talaga siya.
Nag-iba yung
The face is gorgeous. The styling is always impeccable. Yung makeup niya, parating plakado. Yung hair niya, parating tight. The way she's styled is always something that bumabagay sa kanya without it being overpowering for her personality. Now, when it comes to the katawan, she's more svelte, more thin, more toned.
mas woman na siya ngayon.
Mas
Because
woman
it
na
was
siya
Miss
ngayon.
Teen when she won.
Yeah, yes. And at 19 ngayon, makita mo yung there was a sense of maturity na nandyan. So, we're now on my first na girl in my list.
Yun nga
Rowan
lang,
is
she kind of reminds me of Stefania Fernandez. Nasa ganong space siya eh. When Stefania won Miss Venezuela, she was exactly all those things to
I
describe.
think she was
18
same
age. And she won at 18 Miss Universe, transferred crown at 19, which now brings me parang ibang pageant ko nakikita si Roberta.
Si Roberta, when I was, when we were asking her questions, during her meet and greet, sabi niya kahit na ano dun sa apat na titles,
Willing siya.
mapunta sa kanya, she's very much open to it. Yes.
Pero yun nga lang. Ako personally, ganun ko siya kita. Roberta is packaged in a way we're used to in the old system.
So, it probably would make sense if they put her in MGI.
Probably. Or a runner-up.
I don't think na
Depende
runner
sa ano, sa
depende
boka
sa
niya.
Q&A. Depende sa Q&A kasi
Oo.
di ba ka dyan magkakatalo.
Oo, nakakaloka.
I think a lot of newbies na kinakailangan pa ng polish on the pasarela. So kung doon hindi sila mag-perform at yung mga veterans, yung mga
Siya
may
ba?
experience na doon sila pakitang gilas and then maging okay naman possible yung kanilang communication skills sa Q&A, they might end up winning.
Might end up winning this.
Um,
Pero yan, ako nila kay Roberta. Yung Roberta can do good. You can see her intercontinental. In the old system, she could probably be universe or supra to me. Pero, yun. I just don't see her in international just yet. I'm seeing another girl.
Ako naman, it's safe to say that she is going to be a crown contender.
She is. like worthy. That's why we're having this conversation.
Yes.
Talagang magaling ka sa circle.
Yes.
And we see that. At saka at 19, my God, and you look like that girl.
Yeah.
You'll go far.
So let's now mention your second girl.
Yung second girl, you know what, I've always loved Karen. Ever since, I mean, I'm sure that medyo iba na nalaklasteran sa performance na last year, but to me, she really stuck in. And the girl has been working on herself. Ito yung klase, alam mo, may mga, ako hindi ko naman sinasadya kung makita ko yung pages mo or hindi. Pero pag umaabot sa puntong umaabot sa'yo yung post niya, through shares or through parang na echo ng other pages, that means you're doing something. And for her, ganun nangyayari sa akin eh. May mga she's engaging herself in conversations and goes to that conversation, nasa ganong level siya. And beauty-wise, wala akong masabi. That glam shot is super.
Okay.
Flawlessness, bone structure, stature. Actually, reminds me of Nanette Medved na back in the day, na mas
Very chiseled yung cheekbones, yung jawline.
ganon. And I mean, meron siyang exposure with certain celebrity mentors na not a lot of girls gets, and I think she's a strong support system. Pero medyo nanahimik lang lately. I'm waiting for her masabog. Like you said, we're waiting for press presentation. She's the one I'm looking for international.
On my end, she is going to be an easy win for international.
Wow.
But this is right now, hindi natin masasabi kung anong mangyayari after the press presentation, after the national costume show, after the primer. Kasi sa primer, maraming binabasag ng listahan ng primer. But right now, I think easy win siya sa Miss International because I've heard last year that the girls na favorite ng Miss International organization were actually Hannah. Of course, nandyan si Vicky as their
Sakit talaga, sakit pa rin.
I think that's their penultimate choice.
Vim is,
The fact that they moved age requirements because of Vicky says something. And then there's also Maureen. I heard na favorite ng MI and Karen.
favorite natin si Maureen talaga noon.
Yes. So, I mean, with all those 4 girls na last year pwedeng manalo Miss International, it was just a matter of luck kung sinong manalo. And this year, I think Karen and another girl in my list, Gabby Bashano is eyeing for the Miss International Philippines
Which I
crown.
think will be the next girl that we'll be talking about. Pinanabanggit mo si Gabby.
Exactly. Since nabanggit na natin,
We're saying
si Gabby.
kanina, I mean, before this whole ordeal happened, we're thinking that Binibining Pilipinas 2022 is a Karen versus Gabby show.
Exactly. Right now, without looking at the interviews, the pasarela, ang nakikita namin was because these two have already established fan base, they have already established a pageant experience, support system na nandyan na working for them. Madali na lang silang ilako sa international org because nandun na yung base na Ricardo. Ang kinakailangan na lang is yung parts where they really be competitive in the pageant. Kasi
And Gabby is starting that. She had a recent foreign travel. I think that's Vietnam or Thailand. Ganda. As in, the way she packaged herself. She could stand toe-to-toe with Vince Ritor. And you're gonna see the difference. Well, yes.
And if you look at the interview that I had with Gabby that I just published, I think
2 days ago.
2 days ago, I think. Iba na yung the way that she speaks. She's more calm, composed. Na yung the way that she communicates.
Matalino na. I mean, matalino siyang bata in the sense that she knows when to wait. She knows what to improve.
At saka nag-mature yung the way, yung demeanor niya. I think that's the
Mas queenly.
that's the yung clincher doon eh. That's why I strongly believe that right now, if magko-corona tayo at this point in time, bakit it might be a one and two punch for Gabby and
Gabby
Pageant.
and
Kasi
Pageant.
sila yung mga hinog na for a
Sila
crown.
yun eh. At saka sila talaga yung mold. I mean, and they offer something different every single time. May pagulat, may pasabog, may plot twist.
Meron.
Meron talaga.
Karen did so well in the glam shots.
Oo.
Right? Dun sa kanyang ano. And then, ako napansin ko si Gabby during the Santa Cruzan where she really pulled back on the styling. Very clean, very, yung ganda lang, very glowing skin.
She allowed that.
Na hindi masyado in your face yung styling niya. I think she was really, right on the money with the very white na ensemble. I think she just posted yung mga photos niya from the Santa Cruzan na outfit niya in her social media. So, we are looking at the possible one-two punch talaga.
And I mean,
right now
Gabby
for
is
Karen
known for
Gabby.
clean, sleek styling. I cannot forget still the way she did that night ng Binibining Pilipinas 2021. That evening ang performance is one of for the books.
Yeah.
Talagang iba, the way she turned, tapos sakto sa lyric ng Binibining ni Zach Tabudlo, I cannot forget that. And even foreign pageant media took hold of that. I believe one Venezuelan commenter even said that that's I think the best evening gown performance of the year. So imagine, so kung may ganun siyang capability and she just have to harness that, the confidence now is better. I think she can deliver.
Yeah.
These are the girls that we expect.
Yes.
Indeed.
So that's Gabby's number 3 on my list.
Let's
Na, in random ha?
And random lang kami. I think ako naman, not far. Graciela Liman also. I love that girl.
This is also on my list.
I mean, the transformation, honey. No. Yeah, hands down. Ang ganda niya ngayon. As in,
I think it's safe to say that the repeaters you can rely on the repeaters.
Yun yung sabi namin. Because you know why, naaano sila eh. They know what they wanna do. They know what to work on. They know their strengths. As in, so, alam nila kung saan sila nagkakamali. Because your first foray in the pageant, you lose and you have a reassessment and that becomes your strength. Kaya there's strength in losing.
Yeah. So, isa mga masasabi ko about Graciela this year is that every time na nakikita ko siya in any Binibining Pilipinas event is that napakalinis ng styling niya and the skin is so flawless.
Yes.
Ganda ng skin niya and you don't need to filter, you don't need to have yung face tune up to palabasin yung skin niya, yung ganda niya kasi ang ganda ng tone, yung kulay, yung kinis ang balat niya ngayon, wala akong masabi.
Maganda.
I think
Maganda siya.
I think this year unless they make a mistake on the finals, the repeaters
I'm gonna clinch it all.
would be, easy coasting sa competition.
Actually,
But-
parang yung apat na nga na yun. The first four could very well make all the four counts.
But I have to mention one girl on my list na hindi masyado pinag-uusapan ng mga tao. Patricia Antan is one of the girls na kapag tinignan mo ang kanyang social media, mo face tuned yung kanyang mga pictures na kanyang mukha. But she really looks that way in person. It just so happened na make-upan siya. Pag tinanggal mo yung make-up niya, the bone structure is there. Kung gaano kakapal yung lips niya sa picture, ganun po talaga kakapal yung lips niya. Yung mataas niya na cheekbones, very chiseled na jawline, very elongated na neck.
Oo.
That's all her. Physically, kung ano yung nakikita nyo sa photos, yun na yun siya in person. Kasi ganun kaganda yung kanyang bone structure. Hindi lang mahaba talaga ang leeg niya. Totoo po talaga mahaba ang leeg niya. Maganda yung slope ng shoulder niya. Yung
Statuesque.
Exactly. And she has this very Miriam na bone structure especially on the shoulder up na mahaba ang leeg. I think that it's a disservice dun sa mga baguhan this year na sabihin na hindi strong yung kanilang batch because
Actually, the
they
next
are.
names na coming on our list are very the baguhans. I mean, we mentioned Herlene, she's a baguhan.
You mentioned Verlene. Who's next in your list?
Okay. You know what, Chelsea?
Chelsea Fernandez.
Chelsea Fernandez, dito na pumapasok yung machinery and support.
Yeah.
Dito, I mean, ang galing yung trabaho ng Pro Media for promoting their girls. Kasi imagine Chelsea,
Ganun po, parang
Chelsea is not the super popular girl back early in the competition, but now you see her often and she speaks well. Nagulat ako, she interviews really well, she registers well. So, she reminds me of all the previous Binibining Pilipinas girls that we had. Para akong nagkaka-nostalgia. And I think she will do well in this competition if she plays her cards right. So, strong chance. And newbie siya sa pageants.
At saka, ang maganda kay Chelsea, maganda talaga siya in person.
Oo. And you can tell pag maganda talaga in person. Yung sinaroan, di ba? Pag alam mo na that the face they have in real is the face they have in social media.
Yes. And now, Chelsea is also my list. Kumbaga, I already, anim na yung nababanggit ko na, in exception for the first girl that na,
Iba kasi.
na natin, na I'm still on the fence because of several factors. Seventh on my list, I would name Diana Maki. Ang problema lang kay Diana Maki was that masyado siyang quiet ngayon sa competition.
Totoo. I mean, she tends to, I don't know if she's relying on her namesake at saka sa kanyang celebrity experience, pero there's so much to give. Diba?
Yeah.
Parang kaya-kaya pa niya.
Because ako naman, the reason why she's still on my list is because during the Binibining Pilipinas Grand Santa Cruzan, paglabas niya pa lang from the Araneta Coliseum, kasi dun yung staging area nila. She was already getting NGI aura here, Miss International face there.
Totoo.
So kumbaga parang paglabas pa lang niya, parang it's all on.
Binibini.
Kumbaga parang competition na.
Pero parang mas maingay siya in her Miss Philippines Earth stint
Maybe, but I think maybe she's holding back.
Probably. O baka, like you said, after first presentation, dinumin it, diba? Full steam.
Yeah. But definitely when it comes to performance, I am relying on Diana Maki to deliver. That's why she's still within my list of 10 girls na aabangan natin.
Expected.
Especially for the coming press presentation.
And you want her for grand.
I want her for a grand.
Interesting point yun. But Diana Maki, Binibining Pilipinas Grand. Beautiful face.
Di ba? I think right now, kung ako pa pipiliin, I might toss the Miss Grand International titles between Roan and Diana Maki.
Well, if Roan is gunning for a different crown, Grand would be a good training ground. Totoo. So,
Okay,
nice.
your list na.
Alam mo, also on my list, na medyo, ito nasasagap nito nakadamda, si Natasha yun.
Okay.
I don't know, just the air of freshness, the air of parang very easygoing lang, very young. We miss that kind of personality for quite a while, and very promising. I don't see her with the crown though.
Okay,
But
that's interesting.
As a semi-finalist, I think she would make it. Probably a runner-up for the organization to win, and probably for her to take off. She's still pretty young, I think. So, kaya pa.
I think it's Roan and Natasha who is the youngest in this batch. I'm not sure ha. I think they're both 19. I haven't checked if meron 18-year-olds sa kanila.
Iba parang I think that I forgot that year, pero Binibining Pilipinas 2019 ata yun, na meron ding candidate na ganyan yung facial structure. She's wearing green gown, I forgot. Pero yun, naalala ko lang na Natasha reminded me first. So parang magandang minsan may mga fresh face tayo sa pageant. Total, you guys are asking about newbies. I think it's a good fray for her.
There's a question here.
Okay.
Tagalog is okay for me for Lynn chooses to answer in Q&A. Pero sana professional at hindi parang tambay magsalita.
He answered that already.
Yeah, I have answered that already. Okay. I appreciate your. This is from Dorothy Jones. I really appreciate your vlog on why the Binibini is difficult but worth the pageant to succeed at. Many are asking why it takes months. I don't personally mind, but this is a pageant preference. Okay. Break muna tayo dun sa mga listahan ng mga girls because we're going to talk about
This is an interesting
bakit
question
ang hirap ipanalo ng Binibining Pilipinas. With Binibining Pilipinas, ang key na parating nababanggit ng mga winners and candidates is that it is a test of patience. It is a test of
Obstacle course to eh.
exactly. Hindi siya sprint. This is a marathon because it takes 3 months, 2 months for the entire pageant to unfold. From the applications to the
Saka when you win na.
yes, and it is difficult simply because gusto ng binibini na sala yung mananalo. That is why hindi lahat ng mga frontrunners na nanalo dahil tinitignan yung behavior na aspect. Nagtatanong sila sa mga chaperones, sa mga binibini black boys kung sino yung pasaway in person, kung sino yung professional, sino yung parating late, sino yung hindi marunong sumunod ng mga
Binibini
rules.
works with the organization for a year. Nasa Cubao sila. So,
Plus,
imagine nasa
they're also
opisina.
working with several orphanages around
Totoo.
around Metro
So, kailangan
Manila.
genuine na.
So, kinakailangan genuine na kaya mo mapagsalamuha sa bangka. They're also working with other organizations like meron silang tie-up with EMP, I believe.
Yes,
for
they
the
have Love Yourself.
Heroes
Minsan for HIV
something.
also. Marami silang
Meron
ganap.
silang Love Yourself. Meron silang yung may cleft palate. I believe it's Smile
Smile
Philippines.
Philippines.
So, I mean, kung hindi ka genuine dun sa gusto mo.
Mahirap ang trabaho.
Oo, mahirap na trabaho. Kung gusto mo manalo talaga, kailangan talaga pagdaanan mo yung
Saka, diba, sinasabi nga namin, marami kang i-give up. So,
exact.
kailangan pag give up mo yun, buo yung loob mo that this is what I'm going to do for the year. I'm gonna stick it out. Diba? Hindi yung pag medyo the rough gets going, attitude ka na.
Oo, yung biglang
Marami-rami
magdala.
nang nangyaring ganun in the past, diba? Na biglang,
Oo.
I mean, they don't want to repeat that experience again for sure.
Yeah.
And we want to give the right opportunity to the right girl.
Yes.
So I don't mind yung matagal kung maganda ang activity.
Yes.
Pangit yung matagal na tenga kasi yun nagkakaproblema. I mean, nagiging unfit ang girls, mentally, they're spacing out.
And you have to understand, Binibining Pilipinas, the Araneta group of companies is a huge group. And there's a lot of sponsors involved in the pageant na kinakailangan meron silang mga routines, mga pinagbibigyan sa mga sponsor. Like for example, for JAG, meron silang separate na shoot for JAG.
Totoo.
And yung mga shoot ng JAG,
They went
minsan
out of town din.
out of town.
Oo, they went out of town.
So there, meron, aside from the photo shoots, meron pa pala silang mga sponsor visits like yung sa Silka.
Yes.
Nagpunta sila sa Silka plantation to check on how the soap is made, meron sa mga activities doon. Then they also have a day with Ever Bilena. They have a sponsor visits where they really have to, to put that in their calendar kasi ang dami nilang
Food
sponsor na
visits there,
kinakailangan.
diba? You have Pizza Hut, you have Taco Bell, you have all these.
Today they also went to
Art-
Art in Island.
Island yesterday.
Today.
Today. And
And then they also had an activity where they did mga food crawl, mga seafood island, yan sila na dito.
This is Araneta Center.
Dito sa Araneta Center. So, hindi lang magtatapos yung pageant with the glam shot, with press presentation, national costume show. Merong mga in-between activities.
Kailangan
na
magtyaga.
gawin.
Kahit naman yung ibang international pageant na meron, they also want. Nagdadating lang, it's minsan 3 weeks, no? How do you measure that up? So nagkakagulatan tayo na pag nanalo na, ay, biglang iba, resign. So, kaya napapansin nyo, binibinis are really strong in their lane. So, yun.
So yun, let's tumingin pa tayo ng question dito.
Not that.
Not that. Naputol nga yung, yeah, I agree.
I hope.
Haji mentioned here, I hope si Julia Morley ang bumalik. Mas peg ng BBP ang mga prototype ng BBP. I am not sure if Julia wants to come back.
Oo nga, hindi ko na maintindihan. Are they, I think they're good with what
I think they're fine where they
they're
are.
happy where they are.
I think so. Oo. Do you think, now this is from EJ Belge, do you think Binibini should venture into an international pageant considering it has the capacity of handling one? Like Araneta, it has to grow, expand its potential. What do you think?
Wala kakaloka. Hindi ko. The possibility is high, but I don't know if they want that.
I think so too. I think so too. If they can stage
Oo
an
naman.
international pageant of their own.
Kaya-kaya.
Kaya-kaya.
Pero I think that would also sacrifice the Binibini brand.
Exactly. What I would want is for them to work with their current pool of franchises, either to host Miss Globe, Miss International,
In the Philippines.
or even Miss Intercontinental here in the
Again,
Philippines.
maganda kasi yung kanilang previews
Yes.
of relationships in this pageant. I mean, I think Miss Globe can possibly be
And
here.
besides, back when Miss International had a separate pageant for teens, the Miss Teen International, I think. Back in the day,
They also
they had an edition held here in Manila under the BBC.
ito yung pink yung crown. Na parang, alam ko, ito yung parang pink na Miss World prototype crown. Naalala ko, parang yun yung pageant na yun.
But the thing is, yeah, merong pageant doon.
Oo, hanapin nyo yun. May ganun pageant na pink
It
yung,
was
yung
like,
blue
I
crown.
think in
May
the
pink version nun.
60s or 70s.
Oh, hindi. Parang recent years na meron. Parang 2007, 8, 9.
I'm not sure if it's under the Miss International or the Japanese owned. But
Pero baka ano na affiliate or parang
don't know.
groundwork or parang grassroots pageant.
but,
They try.
but the point here is that
Kung
if,
organization na.
if gusto lang naman din na mag-host ng pageant, why not host any of those international
Feeling ko
franchises?
most likely na will be Miss Globe. Dahil medyo Filipino ang manager sa Deli Art.
Pwede.
Oo.
But I am inclining towards Miss Intercontinental
Again.
and Miss International.
Ako international because it's been a long time coming. The first rumor I heard that's gonna be here was in 1999. It's supposed to happen. It's a close call.
Oh my God.
It was a uber close. Kung alam nila ito na super close call, it was almost a done deal. Pero it did not happen. Negotiations happened when they started moving out. No, China, Macau, so Philippines has again floated, but I don't think we're in a good situation to handle such pageant back then. I think now we're right.
I think so. So besides with Miss International having been postponed for 2 years, na kailangan naman ginigin naman nila yung pageant.
2023, baka mali mo naman. Kasi 2022 will be in Tokyo Dome again. I think,
Yeah.
in Japan again. So I think 2023 could be a good year. Why not?
Why not?
Diba? Ibahin naman natin ang Miss International. I mean, kaya pa rin namin, meron na tayong bago ibang version. Paggawa ng ikebana, or instead of you wearing the traditional kimono fashion show, we can do a Filipinian as well. And at the end of the day, it's culture. I mean, though we have a different past with the Japanese, I
But we
think
have a shared
heritage. I mean, that's something we can work on. No? What Japan and Philippines is doing today. Pwedeng mag-unveil ng mga whatever, don't know, structure. Baka lang ma-politicize, pero wag natin sana. But you know, it can be good.
The thing is,
Kaya
it
natin.
would be good for the Miss International brand.
And you'll be busy. You'll be covering the hell out of that
Exactly.
for sure. You'll be busy. Tita Lavinia will be busy. A lot of your friends will be busy. Totoo yan. Having
Okay,
heyday.
so one last question muna bago tayo bumalik sa ano.
Would you think should inherit
Who do you think should inherit the BBB organization once Madam Stella retires? what are the thoughts on Ma'am Cory Carino? Ma'am Cory Carino is good with mutya ng Pilipinas. Huwag na nating galawin yan.
Although they are in good relations, I think ninang niya, si Madam Stella, as she
Okay.
mentioned previously, sa
Now,
kasal.
with
Pero-
regards with with SMA and Binibining Pilipinas, it will be within the Araneta organization.
I have an intuition too, pero I don't think it's gonna be the same when that happens. Pero it's within the family.
Either way, I think that wag na nating ilabas ang Binibini from the Araneta group of companies.
If it's
Kasi
not
then,
Araneta who will run the show, it's not gonna be.
it's not Binibini Pilipinas.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be another thing. So,
Yeah.
but I don't think they would leave out the legacy. Probably one of the madams who's running,
Exactly.
if not SMA,
Oo.
or
There's a lot of,
a lot of people running the show kung alam nyo lang.
behind the
malaki po.
scenes, hindi lang si SMA ang or si Senyor Jorge ang involved. There's a lot of people in there na kasi hindi lang dalawang tao ang execo. Nowadays, may updates na doon sa buong executive committee.
Totoo.
And Lara Tigaman is the latest one.
I mean, Sir Hines Enriquez is active. He can do that job too in the future.
And
There's a lot.
Sir Hines has been there for the longest time.
Oo. Kasi ang dami na I think Sir Hines is Esther Swan's equivalent
Yeah.
sa MU.
Oo.
Kasi ganun kahaba din yung tenure nila pareho.
Sige, last muna bago tayo let before we go to the
Can you say about?
na one talking to LCS group and then to ALV. Nasagot na namin yan,
Nasagot na namin
Art.
yan.
It's in the earlier part of the live.
Nag-shopping lang talaga
If
siya.
if he is shopping, I think that is just to to create buzz.
Nicole Borromeo, alam mo,
Okay, let's go back na to the
binalik na tayo doon. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Bebe
Bebe
Boo.
Boo for returning us that because that girl is with me in my list.
Okay.
You know why? Because Cebuanas are doing this impact. Nakita natin in the recent pageant how Cebuana girls are going. And she's making remarkable visibility and socials too. Hindi ako sure lang kung anong background niya, kung origin din ba siya, pero mukhang may team behind her who's running the entire thing.
I think she is Team Origin.
See, you can tell kasi Origin and Cebu, ito yung may kakaibang tubig na pinaiinom ng Cebuana Queens that ends up winners of recent times. Talagang, you're doing good job.
Nicole is under my bubbling under the list. The reason for that is because she's not yet done any major big moves yet on social media or even the
May mga girls sa subdued kasi tapos nagugulat.
Nagugulat,
Feeling ko she's
exactly.
gonna be like, wow.
So I'm just waiting for her to really come out of her shell and wow us in the upcoming na mga events.
I think the whole month.
She has the whole month to really shake things up.
Totoo. At saka feeling ko naman, the other times nila nakapag-isip yan.
And consistent na maganda yung aura niya in the events that I've been covering.
ang ganda ng register.
Parating,
Looking nga eh.
at saka parating maganda yung malinis yung mukha, malinis
Makeup
yung
niya.
styling.
She doesn't look unkempt. She's okay. She has a huge potential. Pero hindi ko pa nakikitang winner material. But you know what? There should be a Cebuana in there and she's the right girl. She's Cebu's flag bearer. So kung ano man ang gagawin din in the next following days, who knows? I mean, Cindy Obiñeta is not at everyone's
Exactly.
radar, pero tignan mo naman, Intercontinental 2021 siya. Not just Binibini, but she's an international title holder. So yung mga ganon.
So, I am I think, on my 8th girl on my list. I would give that to Josh Dimakulangan of Albay. And
Nag-share tayo ng ibang girls kaya medyo umuoo na ako. Kasi
deserve din naman niya. And this time around, mas kita mo yung fire sa mata niya na gusto niyang manalo. Na she's really competing.
You know what? Hindi ko naman not to be Entrina, but I think she is learning from Justin Felizardo's what Justin did not do. Parang ganon. Ang hirap kasi pag paulit-ulit kang sumasali, no? You lose that fire. I mean, I think for Josh, the assessment is strong. Kaya nakikita niya yon, alam niya kung anong kaya niyang gawin, dapat niyang gawin, at ano pang kanyang gagawin. So, we're really hoping that Josh gets really far in this competition this time. Kasi this one, ang ganda-ganda niya na yun. Iba-iba rin ang styling niya. She changes, experimenting. Her eyes are more expressive than before.
Yes.
Yung napapansin ko sa kanya.
And she is listening to feedback. Kasi nabanggit na namin na kung na rin sa kanya before na Jack, yung Santa Cruzan, yung mata mo looks like nanlilisik because
Makeup probably, or
the lighting, ganyan. And sabi niya, actually, sabi nga din na nagiging niya from other people. Kaya,
And she's rehearsing. Pag wala siyang ginagawa, nakikita mo if the girls are listening.
And sabi niya, hindi na feedback sa kanya, so she's doing something na probably change a little bit dun sa arc ng brows niya para hindi siya mataray. So I think yung the mere fact that she's listening to feedback and improving on it, no, says a lot about her willingness to improve, to listen, to
Yes.
to better herself.
We're hoping. And she's from Albay. I mean, a Bicolana girl also, similar to what the Cebuanas are, they're also feisty and fiery.
Yeah.
We've seen a resurgence of the Bicolana girls recently
Yes.
in different pageants, and I hope Josh continues that this time.
Okay, list mo. Another girl in your list.
Nabandi tayo kanina eh.
Ako na muna.
Kasi ikaw muna.
On my night. I have Ana Valencia, Lacrini, on my list. Simply because ang laki ng improvement niya from the time that she joined the pageant. Medyo malaman pa siya noon. Ngayon, when I see her, mas manipis na siya, mas toned ang katawan niya. And ang hindi nagbago sa kanya is time I see her, ang glowing parati ng skin. The skin is always radiant and luminous.
Colors. Alam niya na rin yung colors niya, what works well on her.
Which is, good because ang stylist niya si Cody Sara, who is Maureen Montaigne's stylist. So there, diba? So hindi siya, she's in good hands in terms of the styling na part. So hindi nalala yun.
Totoo. So next on my list, dumaan siya kanina dito, si Jessica McEwan. I think she has also strong potential. Iba kasi yung stripe niya. And then when she was walking, she was like, you can spot that's a Binibining from afar. So when a girl is like that, you think and they leave that mark on you, so naalala mo siya. And that's important. When you're in a sea of girls that's highly competitive, you need to be remarkable. And she was able to stand out not only to what we saw earlier, but in the past events that we've seen, talent, the ad-lib activity a couple of days ago, so yun. Remark na papansin ko siya. So I think she's also one of my bubbling up girls on my list that could actually
I think we should expand the list to 12 girls.
Oo, we can.
Sige, expand natin. Kasi I
Ilan
have...
ba semis this year? 12, di ba? You said 12 before.
Last year it was 12. This year, I am not sure if they're going to expand it to 15 or 20.
I have a feeling 12 pa rin.
I have a feeling na they might expand it to 16.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kasi ang dami nila.
Kasi live night tayo ang pageant natin.
At 10 o'clock. So, expect mo na sabayan yan.
Yes. So, okay. Number 10 na girl, 10th lady on my list is Justine Punsalan. She is the girl na kinakailangan yung bantayan because when she speaks with so much passion na kung nakita niyo yung talent competition where she did a spoken word na talent about
Nanggulat siya.
yes, about fake news, truth, and misinformation that's happening in social media. I mean, wow. And I'm so lucky because nung Binibining Pilipinas na event nila where they unveil their glam shots, nahuli ko siya towards the end at na-interview ko siya for around 5 minutes. It was a quick, 5-minute chat with her. And doon ko nakilala yung person behind the image And doon mo makita talaga na my God, this girl can talk. She is very passionate with her
She's a
work.
journalist so you can expect a lot of substance coming from her.
Yes. And
Totoo yun.
maayos niya yung presentation na aspect ng competition. I think she'll go far.
Totoo.
I think also a little bit tweaking on the styling so that she can, she can do a lot of looks.
She reminds me of sino yung crowd favorite noong 2011 Binibining Pilipinas na naging journalist din? Katrina, sorry. She's from UST, I forgot. She's very popular. She's a
Si
news...
Pat Tumula?
Hindi. She's from Binibining 2011.
I think I have an idea pero hindi ko maalala yung
Kalaban siya ni Sham. So she's now with... DCM ng Teleradio. She assisted there. She reminds me of her. Pag naalala ko, sabihin ko.
I think this year, ang daming girls na babantayan mo. I think kulang yung 12 sa listahan. Kasi there's a lot of girls that hindi natin pinag-uusapan pero may potential.
Alam mo, even Isabella David, she's a singer.
Lala
Vinson and screen name niya. Pero you know what, even if she lacks pageant experience, iba din ang striking, iba ang appeal. She gives me that strong vibes. Reminds me of Emmanuel Vera actually. In terms of strength. Pero ito kasi mas, we kinda familiar with her dahil nga, di ba, line of work. Pero talaga siya, iba ang kanyang dating striking. And I heard from her camp that she's really working towards her costumes, her gowns, her projections. Is this right? Is this wrong? So, nagtatanong-tanong yung bata. So, maganda yun. I mean, she may not win a crown this year, but for sure, maganda ang magiging future niya if she gets all the right lessons for her to have.
Now, tapos na tayo sa 10 girls na on our list. But I would like to expand that with several other girls notable na I think na kinakailangan natin pag-usapan. First on my list is Fatima Kate Bisan. She is a medical technologist, a licensed medical technologist. She is a frontliner during the pandemic. Wow. And the way that I like about her is not only that she has pageant experience. Hindi lang sa maganda siya, hindi lang sa, she has, Filipina, Norwegian, I think, na blood. Hindi lang siya mestiza, hindi lang siya maganda, but the way that she speaks, aabangan niyo siya. She speaks so fluent and very in command. She speaks very passionate and may sense siya kausap. Yun yung sa tingin ko kinakailangan nating antabayanan because kaya niyang talunin sa speaking ability yung ibang mga veteran na mga pageant girls na nabanggit ko sa top 10
Pag
ko.
bumubula pa naman ng bibig, dangerous.
Dangerous, exactly.
Wait, naalala ko na pala sino yung journalist girl na Tina Marasigan.
Tina Marasigan.
Oo, siya naman si Tina Marasigan. Kasi ganun din yung aura nila na.
Now, underdogs na gusto mong i-mention.
Aznar.
Elda Aznar. Okay.
Aznar.
Okay.
Ito yung mga isa sa babaeng hardworking, tapos umaabot siya sa radar mo.
Oo.
Alam mo yung, yan ang maganda naman sa newbie. Like you're saying, diba? Mas maraming katutunayan, so mas trabaho sila. Hindi sila nag-rely sa backers, sa support, kasi nga non-existent pa halos, pero siya, the visibility is there. And kind of polite sa social media.
Yes.
Sa conversations, nakikita mo,
Yes,
she engaged.
very, hindi naman reserved, but siguro lang may breeding lang talaga siya na she's polite on
Iba pa kasi syempre hindi pa siya sanay sa ganitong mundo, pero nakikita mo talaga na the potential is strong because she's working towards that.
And what I like about Elda is ang tangkad niya. She's 5'10". Maganda yung bone structure niya. And she speaks well. She really speaks well.
Yan, isa naman nakakatakot. Kasi pag bumubula ang bibig, that spoils your top, your finals.
And from chismis sa loob, napapansin siya ng Binibining Pilipinas Coronation. So, that means he's doing
Umaabot
something good.
Umaabot talaga.
Yes.
Umaabot. Kahit anong quiet mo umaabot. Maraming girls nung araw na ganyan-ganyan. Nagugulat tayo, bakit siya nakakuha ng corona to? Ba't siya nakakuha ng corona yan? Kasi nga, pag nandoon sila na lang, napapansin nila who stands out.
On my, under my, sa mga list ng mga girls na gusto kong i-mention is Iliana Aduana, or Yana for short. Because every time that I see her, plakado parati ang hair and makeup, and halos wala kang makitang pores sa skin niya. Ganun kalinis, kaswabe, smooth ang skin niya. She really looks like porcelain doll in person. Kasi yung, I don't know, whether it's genetics, whether it's, she's just taking care of her skin.
She photographs well. Talagang radiant.
At saka yung skin niya talaga ang ganda talaga. I mean, if Binibining Pilipinas is just going to be a battle of two girls with the best skin, high on the list is probably Ana Valencia and Yana Aduana, because ang ganda ng kutis talaga ni Yana. And as we all know, Binibining Pilipinas is 50% beauty of face.
Taas pa rin, hindi nagbabawas.
Hindi mataas. Hindi siya sa mataas. Kalahati ng score mo.
Ano siya, hindi talaga nagbabawas nila, ang standard. Even in this, no?
Oo.
Naging beauty of face. Kasi it's a beauty pageant ako, no? Pero hindi naman ibig sabihin they disregard other aspects. No? They also put premium on that. That's what happens to those stores.
And 20% ng, from before na 10% ng Q&A, 10% na siya ngayon. So, there.
Yeah.
Diba?
So this is an exciting batch. Sinasabi natin, baka yung nakikita nyo lang kaya hindi kayo masyado na-happy is because we're sticking. At saka you know what? Another factor na naisip ko, this is a political year.
Yes.
It's a turning point in the Philippines. Madaling mag-drown ng political noise yung mga pasabog.
Yes.
So, if they're taking a back and holding back, naiintindihan ko. Kasi sayang din naman kung todo-todo buga ka tapos biglang patatabunan ng iba. This is not a neutral year to put your guns out.
Yes. And,
So,
okay, another girl on your list na gusto mong i-mention.
I don't know, but this girl's growing on me. Christine Opiaza is also doing well.
She's not on my radar.
Not
But
on my
I've
radar,
heard a lot of pageant media
Minsan,
na talking about
oh, di ba? Hindi ko nga rin siya napapansin nung una. Biglang, parang who's that girl? It's that moment. It's that moment for me. So yun. Kaya maybe we can watch out for her. Baka one of the spoilers, manggulat. Kaya din pala. Baka mamaya, di ba pala ang katok skills, no? Rampadora, kabugera. Yan. Ano nangyayari? Pasabog. The first presentation will be that evening.
And meron tayong comment here, One Piece fan said, I was pleasantly surprised with Stacey Gabriel. I think she is gorgeous and is a fun personality, pero short daw siya. Okay. I love Stacey. She has, outgoing na personality. She always looks like she's happy. She's having fun in the competition. I think yung mga nagsasabi na yung height is going to be a downfall. Remember, Samantha Padilla is only 5'5" last year. And she still managed to win the top title.
So, kahit sa international pageant ni Samantha, it was pasabog.
Yeah. So, I think Stacey Gabriel could possibly shake up the competition. Hindi lang siya maingay tulad ng ibang mga girls na who have already developed a fan base, but definitely aabangan natin siya. This year is a batch na walang tapon. In fact, nabanggit namin sa mga candidates before na even yung mga pumalit na mga binibinis after the mga girls na hindi nag-continue ng kanilang candidacy. Yung mga girls na ito na pumalit sa kanila, malaking tapon. I mean, pati siya di ba? I mean, Joanna Rabe.
I was about to mention, you know what, I'm hopeful for her. Kasi the initial pageant for of Joanna did not fare well. I think she got sick, no? Hindi natuloy. Pero I think this time, hindi na trabaho na. Iba rin ang register niya. Iba rin ang kanyang, ayun na, I heard her speak. So, ako medyo it's not too excellent. I mean, it's not Catriona grade levels, but it's decent. So the girl can still push it forward, and the face is gorgeous.
Next, we have MGI Herlinico Budol. We agree.
Agree.
Ano
Anong
yung
prototype
prototype ng Miss Glow?
Tignan mo na lang si Maureen
Si
Montang.
Maureen.
Yun
The
yun.
mere fact na she's, she's gorgeous. She's,
Kailangan maganda at saka pang ano siya, undeniably, undoubtedly.
Yeah.
Ganun. Walang mag-argue sa'yo na ito yung right girl. Kasi we also saw that with Anne Collis, ganyan. Siya yung pinakamaganda sa batch na yon. And you see her with Maureen Montang, it's the same. So, yun. Yun ang dapat pag Miss Globe ka. Walang duda. Pag may duda, you're good for runner-up, I guess.
Someone is asking about the prototype ng Miss Intercontinental.
Wala.
Ang hirap,
Unpredictable.
Ang hirap niyang i-pinpoint, but generally, the girls na on the fierce side yung mga nananalo in the past. Okay?
Parang siyang, I do not know, it feels like Miss Earth that's sort of Miss Universe also.
Ako naman,
In terms of pagiging sa beauty, yun ang Miss Intercontinental. Pero, hindi kasi siya sobrang kasi
that's why earlier I was actually talking to Mark about what if sundan natin. I know it was not you. It was someone from the org,
Pero binanggit
from the
mo yun na
Araneta.
what if sundan mo nga si Cindy ng ano.
Si Cindy ng super gorgeous ng mukha.
Di 1-2 punch niya.
1-2 punch. What if
1-2 punch.
ilagay natin si Gabby
Bibas niya.
Basiano for Intercontinental? Because we've seen this na hirap, definitely, close to impossibility ang back-to-back. In any pageant naman, medyo hirap yung
Pero pag talagang hindi nila mapipigilan, binibigay nila.
yes. But for me, what if sundan natin si Cindy ng isang candidate na undeniably gorgeous, na walang anggulong pangit.
Feeling
Like
ko kahit
that.
si Karen ipadala ko doon eh. Ganun din.
Pwede din.
Yun. So, maraming possibility.
Yeah. Next, can you talk about Erling Budol?
We talk about her na.
Yeah, siya yung unang-unang, siya yung
unang
unang-unang pinag-usapan natin.
Do you consider MJ a major pageant? What do you are the criteria to be considered major pageant? To me, it's not. We have, I respect the alpha, beta leveling of pageantry. The basis for that is first, what the pageant is built for. If you look, nirespeto ko po yung Big Four na traditional ako doon because Miss Earth, World, Universe, and International all has a specific program that they support by global organization. Miss International by International Cultural Association of Japan, which is a Japanese sphere of influence in terms of culture and goodwill around the world. So dahil po ang Japan ay first world country naman and they have the ability to support international efforts, kaya nagpatatag ang Miss International. Kahit minsan hindi kayo natutuwa sa entertainment value niya or hindi siya ganun ka-polish or glossy, pero yung trabaho nila behind closed doors, mabigat. Miss Earth, of course, we have United Nations Environmental Protection Program that they've been working with for so long, since 2001. Miss World's Beauty with a Purpose is so strong also. For all of its existence, ginagawa nito. And of course, yung Miss Universe organization, from
AIDS research,
AMFAR, ang bigat talaga. Yun, priceless. And other pageants such as Miss Grand International doesn't have that. Wala silang backing. Hindi man sila, alam mo, maganda sana opportunity if they tied up with UNHCR, no?
Yeah.
Center for Refugees, if they were really serious about stopping war and violence, but they did not when they can. And they have naman the resources, they have the connections, but they did not. So, if it's just a showcase of face, beauty, and a legacy brand, I put them as beta. So that's why Miss Intercontinental falls under that. I call that their second in line. supranational as well.
So, yeah.
Probably that international is in that level too. Probably to me, it's the 8th or 7th ranking pageant in the world.
Kasi on my end, I really look at the respectability of the organization
Yes.
as, you know,
Saan sila napupunta?
Oo.
Oo. Kasi example, Miss Universe, wala pang beauty queen, I think, na nakipag-usap. Example, sa Santo Papa, rather than, di ba? Or reach the likes of Nelson Mandela. Miss World did that,
Correct.
di ba? Miss Earth has spoken on international forum na talagang importante. Like, COP20, nagpe-present sila doon, di ba? Reduction of carbon emissions, they're very important.
So, I really think that ang hirap niyang ilagay as a major pageant simply because they haven't built hindi lang advocacy
Machinery.
the machinery or even the connections with international organizations of note that would really propel them into, you know, stardom, superstardom. Kasi kung ang nakikita lang ng mga tao, the reason why, you know, the Latinos, the Asians are supporting the pageant is because of the glossiness, the glamour of the pageant. I think
Not
that's
enough.
this is a very shallow, you know, reason to support it as a major
And the
pageant.
local organizations alone can do that. I mean, Señorita Colombia can do that. I mean, that's
Exactly.
glamour on its own. Miss Venezuela organization has done that over and over again. Miss France is doing that as well. Binibining is doing
Binibining.
that.
I mean, so, okay, Binibining has connections with orphanages around Metro Manila. It has Love Yourself page. It has Smile Train Philippines. It has ano pa ba? Connections with the heroes, PNP
Oo.
heroes.
Madami silang trabaho.
So marami silang
And self-supporting an organization to be major, ano sila, I mean,
And
not
ito
just
pa.
cash infusion, meaning,
Sa akin, ito
pusa.
sa akin ito. The mere fact na very public yung na inilala ko ng isang owner yung kanyang pageant sa different organizations. It's like, okay, the moment that you start begging for attention, begging for support, begging for recognition on social media or whatever, out ka na dun sa listahan ng top 5.
Ang isang magandang produkto, you don't have to sell it if it's really good. People will
Will
line
buy
up
it.
for it. Yes.
And sobrang hard sell kasi na tipong desperate na yun.
Totoo. Maybe if you want to be a celebrity or you want to build a name for yourself, this
Yun.
brand is a
This
good.
brand is a good- is a-
Because I think much of the girls that came from that pageant has built up a name for themselves. Pag bumabalik sila ng bansa nila, they become influencers, they become social media stars, perhaps.
At saka, I also have a question with the judging panel. How do they select the winner?
Hindi rin
kasi klaro.
Klaro. Because
So,
even if questionable at times, such as say Miss World, they implement system. Minsan, di ba, you remember the scoreboards, the point system. You know na pag may beauty with a purpose ka, if nakikita mo yun. Universe, very clear and concise. Hindi ka nakikita ang score sheet, pero the judges don't lie. And they speak about their decision even after that, so that they don't confuse. So, ganun, may ganun dapat.
okay, with regards to, we already discussed that, pakiramdam ko, award ng okay, huwag na natin pag-usapan yan. It's controversial
wala
yan.
na yun. It's done.
Kung ang Miss Universe nga hindi hinabol ni Madam MG ay pakaya. Smiley face.
The X.
Yes, thanks. Let's see. Miss Young International there. It's not Miss Teen International. It's Miss Young International. Thank you, Art, for mentioning.
Maraming
that. Oo.
usually yan ang title ng artista nung araw. Nagiging artista daw. Kapag Miss Young, Pilipinas Young. I think, ang nagkwento sa akin, Miss Desiree Verdadero, ang Misamis. I can't remember. Parang siya, during one minute
Chris
of
Jean Saburit is
Young.
Miss Young International.
Binibining Pilipinas
natin.
Young siya. I do not know. Zenith Briones ba was young? Or semi-finalist? I can't remember. Pero that was actually a title.
Yeah.
The Maha pala. The last participation of Maha was in 2004. We became first or second runner-up, natalo pa natin si Natalie Glebova.
Ah, yes, it's Maan
Bayot.
Bayot.
Oo, yun.
Ay, yeah.
See?
Naalala ko.
Oo, naalala ko yun. And because the gown that was used there was Carly, and si the 2003. Gown yun, the blue na fully beaded.
Ayun, Mark Gonzalez was mentioning earlier, Tina
Tina
Marasigan.
Marasigan. Yes,
Sana
nasagot
na
na.
mabulag tayo sa ilaw ng competition night ng Binibining Pilipinas para di na tayo ma-cry ng mga stupid baler. Agree,
mukha.
one is right.
Alam niyo yung mukha. If they're promising it's a K-pop X pageant show,
Oo.
expect a K-pop level production.
Okay, I've always wondered about pasarela skills. Of course, we all love this skill, but I wonder if many judges appreciate an excellent pasarela.
It's international na eh. Pasarela is more decent rather than feisty.
Yes.
Or if you're feisty, you go to Globe. You go to Intercon.
Pwede. I think it is a necessary skill still.
Still.
Hindi siya
Pageant
pwedeng...
cannot be without
Oo.
pasarela. Kailangan po pasarela.
Kailangan pulida kang magpasarela.
But-
Because if you notice, yung mga magagaling magpasarela last year, like Gabby and Meiji, especially Meiji, di ba?
Uy, by the way, yung gown ni Meiji sa Binibining Pilipinas, sinuot ng isang girl sa Miss MPQI. Oo, that red dress. I saw it there. Nung tinatawag si Fusha sa Top 11, nagpan
Di
ng
ko
camera.
napansin yun. I was
Nagtagos
traveling kasi during
Oo, and
final.
I think the drama's remarkable. Sa Meiji Cruz.
Okay, Sita Avila was one of the runners-up of Miss Young International. Very fresh ang mukha niya. Thank you,
Naalala
AJ
natin
Bell.
kay AJ Bell. Sa mga nostalgia sa pageantry, maraming salamat for sharing your insights. Kami rin, nostalgia kami. And, yeah, kubaw to eh. Mahal natin to.
Any last thoughts before we end?
Any last thoughts? I think for the girls, I think if the girls will see this, you do you know your core, you know your purpose, alam mo na yun, lakasan nyo yan because that's what you carry in the competition. At the end of the day, win or lose or whatever that may be, you are a Binibini, you're here. We will always remember you as such. That's a name to carry on its own. Mabigat na yun.
Ako naman is that we are in the last month of the Binibining Pilipinas competition. Bigay niyo na. I mean, don't hold back. This is the time where you lay the groundwork.
Sabi nga nila, ilang buwan tayo naghihintay. This is all your energy, push it forward.
Lay the groundwork for you to shine on the finals night.
Hindi kami yung, alam ni girls, hindi kami kisisi.
Yeah.
There's no regret.
Kasi with the amount of ganda, with the level of the quality ng candidates this year, hindi malayo na
You
lahat
just have to own
tayo, iba-iba yung magiging bet for the crowns. So, I think everyone is in equal footing talaga when it comes to winning.
Oo, ang dami, nakakalito itong pageant. It's such a shame we only have 4 crowns to compete. No? We wish we're back to 7. Because 7 is still a small crown for this match. Pero a lot of girls deserve it this time.
Okay, One Piece fan was may pahabol siyang sinabi.
Okay.
Younger pageant fans put more value on the gloss of the
Rather than
pageant
advocacy.
rather than advocacy. Kailangan nila fans
Ingay to
or
survive.
ingay to survive. I think if maganda advocacy, kung walang manonood ng pageant, sayang.
But,
Agree.
but ano yung natatranslate ng viewership? Ano yung it's important? Viewership is about the rating. Totoo po yun. Maganda rin yung maraming tinitingala sa'yo. But you know what? At the end of the day, pageantry is business.
Yeah.
And money doesn't happen just there. For it to survive, may back. So, kailangan natin ng trabaho. I mean, para maniwala rin ng businesses to support you, to become your sponsors, to back you up, you need to have a clean slate of the work that you do. And Binibini is doing that.
With regards to what you said, though, I agree, especially on the part where kinakailangan we look at the pageant not just as an organization but a business. And for a business to have to be to exist
Thrive,
and thrive in the long run, you need to have respectability. that is one thing that ang hirap hanapin kung you're only about the show. You're
And
only
being the
about...
winner is not just a status symbol, it's a job.
Yes. So,
Kaya importante yun.
tama yung sinabi mo na how would sponsors, support your pageant if hindi ka respetado. And I think,
You earn your chops after. Actually,
I think Binibining has that in spades.
for,
I think,
for a queen to succeed, actually, it doesn't happen on the pageant stage alone.
yeah.
It's what you do after. So, training mo lang to. So, if you do well in the competition, you do well, you know. Hi, Art Laurent, thank you so much. Don't forget to like this
you.
live stream. Also support his page. Flock to Sashes&Scripts.
Thank
Gossip
you.
Girl. At saka mga ganap niya, yung mga post niya. I mean, he's giving platforms to a lot of girls. Kaya maganda rin naman kilala niyo sila.
And, siguro lang, we have to remind na lang ourselves that Binibining Pilipinas is still the most fair, the most professional na pageant system here in the Philippines, and that is why, kahit na malagasan man sila ng mga franchise, the trust and the respect is there.
Because they do it, parang they just do it for love. Parang, I mean, hindi to bola, no? Pero parang they do it na because it's commitment. I mean, if you've been running a pageant for almost 60 years,
Yeah.
no? That's something.
And yun na nga, for a pageant of this magnitude to survive that long, iba talaga din kasi yung branding ng Binibining Pilipinas.
Iba rin talaga yun. Iba yung tawagin ka balang araw.
And if you look at yung mga winners ng mga ibang pageant systems versus the Binibining Pilipinas na mga girls, candidate ka pa lang, ang laki na ng respeto sa'yo. And a lot of people will remember that you are a Binibining Pilipinas candidate than you won in this pageant or in that pageant, other pageant. So,
totoo yun. I don't wanna drop names na lang, pero totoo yun. You don't remember them as much.
Iba pa rin yung recall na
Diba?
Binibining Pilipinas candidate ito.
Diba, you see, I mean, some of the successful girls na hindi naman kailangan international titlist eh. Like Nicole Cordova is a very good friend of ours, are very popular nowadays. Kasi the work she does, even after she got passed on the crown, is important. I mean, Katrina, even beyond becoming Miss Universe, also does the same. Gazini has been helping a lot of people in Cebu. So, kahit hindi siya nag-crack ng top 10 ng Miss Universe, ang respeto kay Gazini taas. Nakikita natin yun talaga sa lahat. Even na our kahit anong title eh, no? Kahit anong title.
So, I think we've covered everything that we
We've
want to
covered
cover.
everything. Oo, so if you want to...
Magta 2 hours na rin.
2 hours na rin kami. It's such a fun conversation. Whenever
Yeah.
we're in Cubao, ganito ang nangyayari sa amin.
Yes.
No?
We lose track of time.
So probably we'll see each other. Ewan ko, kung may time tayo, we can do this after or before
yeah.
the finals night, probably before the month ends. Kasi July 31 is an exciting night that everybody should tune into. I think visit the Binibining Pilipinas official page for the updates. They have released a set of schedules that you have to watch out for, including the press presentation this Sunday.
Yeah.
By invitation nga lang siya for the press.
This Tuesday.
Tuesday
ang-
pala,
ang
sorry.
press presentation.
If you mag-live stream ka ba nun?
I
Try your
will
best.
try my best.
Pero yes, that's the first of the deal breaker events. And you have to watch out for that.
And don't forget to follow and subscribe to our channel for more pageant ganaps.
Yes.
Yon. That's it. It's been a fun night with you, Mark, and with
Thank
you
you so
guys.
much. It's a pleasure always to be here.
Na tune in with us, and I hope na sa susunod na live session natin, hindi tayo magkaroon ng issues on the internet.
Okay, so
Yeah.
ano yan, bandwidth, lalaban tayo.
Yes. That's it, guys.
Thank you so
Have a
much.
great evening.
Happy Friday.
Bye, everyone. Enjoy the weekend. Ayun na.
The X, I think.
Guys. Bye, guys.